He left when I was around 6, 7.
So you actually...
Because when you said you didn't, when you said he wasn't there, I thought...
He just...
From birth.
Yeah, I thought...
No, the thing is, he was there up until... I think I have memories of him in and around 6 or 7. He used to I used to speak to him occasionally, and he used to make so many promises. We lived in America, oh, this summer you'll be coming to me, this summer, blah, blah, blah. And it would never transpire. And it got to the point where my teenagers, I was like, you know what? Fuck that guy, yeah? Because if I see him, it's gonna be on. I actually grew up without a father.
Really?
You grew up without... Why did you sit all the way to the end?
I was just waiting on
Bombshell. Yeah, tell us.
No, I grew up without a dad. And my dad wasn't around. He fathered a few children and then just skipped country.
Oh my God.
So a lot of my siblings, we don't have very good things to say about this guy. Do you know what I'm saying? We don't have very good things to say about him. But it's just interesting for me as a father myself. It kind of gave me a yardstick of what I don't want to be like.
Right. Yeah. Something to balance it.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to be like that.
Yeah.
And I actually remember growing up being very angry. I was very angry towards him. And it actually crescendoed in the fact where it got to a point where I remember in my teenage years, I actually said to myself, if I see this guy, I'm actually going to have a fight with him. I'm actually going to have a fight with this guy because it was like a culmination of broken promises,
Right.
So
promises were made?
Was he?
Oh yeah, promises were made.
Can I ask when he left your life?
He left when I was around 6, 7.
So you actually...
Because when you said he wasn't there, I thought...
He just...
From birth.
Yeah, I thought...
No, the thing is, he was there up until... I think I have memories of him in and around 6 or 7.
Right.
And then he was gone.
I think that's even harder though for you.
And so,
gone,
he used to I used to speak to him occasionally, and he used to make so many promises. We lived in America, oh, this summer you'll be coming to me, this summer, blah, blah, blah. And it would never transpire. And it got to the point where my teenagers, I was like, you know what? Fuck that guy, yeah? Because if I see him, it's gonna be on. And then it got to the point that when I became a father, I was like, you know what? The angst and anger that I felt towards him, I would never want my son to feel that. I'd never, because my son's 11 now. I don't want my son to feel that. But it's just when you talk about fatherhood, fathers need to be very careful about how they mold their children and the effects that they have on their children, because it can be quite detrimental.
We are who we are today because of our family and our parents, aren't we? We all today are ourselves because of our parents, I believe.
I know a couple...
They have a massive impact on our lives.
Yeah, I know a couple of men that have beat up their dads,
Really?
Serious?
Yeah.
Oh, serious.
Physically beating their dad?
Yeah, because of their mum.
Terry Crews is a big famous actor, and he's opened out how he beat his dad. And
stuff. Because their
mum... He used to
mum...
beat his mum and all that.
Yeah, I've got a friend where literally he found out... It's the maddest story you could ever hear.
Go on.
I'm at a shop, and these guys walk in, but they look exactly like my friend.
Yeah.
It's weird. I went to school with him, so I know what his face looks like. I called him, I was like, yo, there's some guys at this shop that look just like you. He's like, oh yeah, those are my brothers. You don't have brothers. He's like, yeah, neither. I do now. I do now. So his dad was living a full double life where those guys thought that their dad was around.
Do you know what's so interesting? You say that. It's the same thing happened to me. I found my brother when I was in my 20s. And
with
different mums. And I found out that my brother is 3 days younger than me.
What?
Yeah, he's 3 days younger than me. So my dad had 2 women in hospital at the same time.
Mad
children. Yeah. I mean, me and my brother are great now, but I didn't know that I had one until my 20s.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
See, that's not good fatherhood, man. That is just...
Can I ask, do you still speak? Have you spoken to your father? Now or not really? Or when's the last time? So you haven't really little relationship with him?
No relationship really, if I'm totally honest.
I find that
if you see him today, what's the vibe?
I don't have the same...
No, I know, but I mean, what is the vibe?
The vibe's just like, hey, how you doing, kind of...
But you don't want to reach out to him, nothing like that. It's not really worth it. To you.
No, not for me, because I think for him on his end, what is very interesting, because as a father, and I get it as a father myself, he now knows that he's got grandchildren and blah, blah, blah. But because he hasn't built that bridge with his other children,
Fear.
It's like he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? He doesn't know what, and so he'll talk about his grandchildren, But it's like, bro, no one checks for you though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Really part of it.
no one checks for
What
you,
you're
bro.
He didn't fill that role.
What you're describing is a delusion I've noticed with a lot of older dads. Obviously, I'm Caribbean, so I only know. So I'm not saying it's exclusive, but I only know Caribbean fathers, and it's like there's a lot of them that is just like they have this delusional relationship about what relationship their kids or their grandkids have with them. Like in their heads, it's all lit, but it's like, no, you hurt us.
Yeah, really.
But it's like.
I actually had that when I saw him last. I think it was 2018. And he was speaking like that. He was speaking like, oh, you know, someone, and they just shout someone. I'm like, bruv, no one knows you, bro. What are you talking about? Like, but in his head, it's like, this thing is...
To make him feel better, I think.
He's Jamaican.
Do you love him?
I just said that.
No, I don't think I love him, but I don't hate him. It's just he's another human being. It's the craziest thing because I think to myself, it probably could have been different if he had put in the effort. Because remember, it's not just me. He's got a few children. Do you know what I mean? So it's like if I'm feeling a certain way.
Does he have kids in the States that he has a completely different
he
relationship
doesn't.
with?
Do you know what, a very interesting story was I found out that I had a brother because my granddad died.
It's usually the funeral that tells.
Yeah, it's so my granddad died, and I found out all of this stuff, and then it's so crazy because I met my brother, and we said we need to talk because this was at the funeral. Like, you know, everyone's gone back to the house and everyone's chilling and blah. I was like, bro, like, come, let's have a talk. Do you know what I mean? And we just went for a walk, and it's that at that point I found out all of this stuff, and I was like,
that's mad, that, yeah.
how old are you? And he was like, oh yeah, I think I was like 26, and I was like, I'm 26. And he was and I was like, when's your birthday? He was like, April. I was like, April when? And he was like, we were 3 days apart, right? We were literally and then it got to the point where I was like, my dad was there at the funeral, and my dad, because it was his dad that died, and he tried to come to me and talk to me, and I said, you know what's interesting? I said, I don't have an angst towards you because you claimed me. I said, I got angst like that, but not like your other son. Yeah. He's got angst. I said, I just went and talked to him, and he's got some crazy... I said, you need to go and talk to him. Yeah. And it was interesting because he is so mad. My father was married to my brother's mum. Right. He wasn't married to my mum.
And he didn't claim.
So my mum was the side chick. But apparently he loved the side chick more than he loved the wife. And he claimed me and didn't want my brother. It was crazy.
True.
That's crazy, and I want to ask questions about it, but I also really want to. I don't want to miss your relationship with your dad because I think that's important
me?
as well.
Oh,
yeah,
snap.
you didn't answer the question.
Oh, okay. No, I've got a good relationship with my dad, and like it's like for me, PK, pastor's kid. I grew up, and at one point, I realized that my dad was human. I realized that he was flawed,
right?
And that was like a big shift for me. And then it kind of have to figure out how I'm going to be a man myself and take the traits of him that I want and don't want, which leads to what I wanted to ask you guys.
Which age was it that like when you realized? Were you a kid or were you adult?
There's different stages.
Right.
So he's just like, it was like one chink in the armor at maybe like 10, 11.
Right.
Then another chink in the armor at like 14, 15. And now I'm a grown man. I notice more.
Yeah.
So it's like over time kind of things.